to say that music just, when I hear that, my life was spent here. And I just want to let you know, it just pulls every emotion out. My dad said it would. But, you know, I want to share with you guys, as I come back to Clinton, what a joy, what an honor to be able to be here to bring my grandson. It is just a great honor. So I promise I won't cry too much, because what I have to tell you is my dad was bigger than life. And I will tell you that in the classroom, in the choir room, Clinton High was like Club DeHann. We came over here, Dad would allow us to go ahead and shoot baskets in the gymnasium, turn on the lights, and just say you're a DeHann. And then came by. And then you go up to the choir room, and this was like where we lived. And as big as Dad was to the public, to the choir, as intense as he was in practice, he was as big behind the scenes. He was intense with his music. He was skillful in everything that he did, and he demanded a lot, but at the same time, he was joyful and happy, and I'd have to say goofy, and all the way through. There's a proverb in the Bible, it's Proverbs 22:29, and whenever I read it, I think about Dad. It says, "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." So, when Dad came back from, I think it was in 1979, I graduated in 73. I'm not as old as Billy. I'm not as old as that. Okay. I graduated in 1973, so I think that was the 79 choir. And 79, 80 choir, right? Okay. So, Dad came back, and he would call me all the time. And he would call me weekly, sometimes it would be daily. But when he came back, I knew that the choir had won the gold medals. And so I was just going to play along with him. And I go, "Dad, how you doing?" And he called, fine, Larry, like that. And so then I just would keep going on. And then finally I go, "Dad, did you have a good trip?" He goes, "Yep, won the gold." And just to kid around with him a little bit, I go, "Well, did you talk to Jimmy Carter, the president, from Washington, D.C.? And he goes, "Well, funny that you should mention it. Yeah, I did." And so from there, I would hear about all the things that were accomplished. Dad was just incredible. He was skillful. And he was standing before the president, Who do I see in that picture? I see my dad standing by the president. And I see kids behind him. And I see the choir behind him. And I think, what a skillful worker who will stand before presidents. And I think the thing is that as I go on in life, I am a teacher. And I've been 31 years into it. And I have the opportunity to study what makes teachers great. And all the way down the line, as I look into my studies, as I work with student teachers, and I think, man, Dad was so good. So I got to tell you just a couple more stories behind the scenes. So we can get all involved with standards-based grading, right, and motivation and all that stuff. Can I tell you guys a secret? I was in the choir room. This is my 9th grade year, and I'm watching Dad. He goes, "We have to go to the high school. You want to go? Shoot hoops and be in the choir room?" I go, "Sure, Dad." So we come over, and he says, "I got to do my grades. They're due tomorrow." And I watch him. Now I'm a math teacher, and he would always give me a bad time about that. But I watched my dad do grades, and he would go A. He'd just take out the sheet and he'd go A, and then he'd go B. Then You go back to A, and B. And I gave him a little bit of a bad time. I said, Dad, you know, the math people, the science people, they don't do grades that way. There's like standards. He goes, well, I do it my way. I go, so what is your way? He goes, motivated, not so motivated. Motivated, not so motivated. That was the V. I gave him a bad time. 2 weeks later, I got my report card. I had a B. I go into the choir room. I go, Dad, you gave me a B. He goes, no. But what I do remember is that all the excellence, all the demand that was there, it was because Dad cherished a relationship more than anything. I cannot tell you the number of times, just growing up in Clinton, the number of times we had soloists, quartets over at the house. High school kids coming all year long, all summer long. Because relationship was so important to Dad. I don't think that you get to the level, I mean, the music just pulls it right out of you. The level of difficulty is so high. And this is done with high school students. I'm just amazed. As I think about it now, I think my dad was skillful. And he cherished those relationships. And if it wasn't for the relationships that he had all through his life and cherishing them, he would have never reached the level that he reached as far as his music is concerned. But most importantly, I just want to share with you, all the way through, my dad and I will never regret the fact that I talk to him nearly daily or every other day. I will never regret that whatsoever. So I come before you and I tell you, though, I got to tell you the most important thing in my dad's life, though, was the relationship that he had with the Lord. And I would give him a bad time about it. Dad, isn't there such a thing as separation of church and state? Well, as I do it my way, Larry. You know, if you do the great works of music, happen to give God all the glory.
Amen.
And that was what my dad's life was about. So, I just want to do him well. And I want to go ahead and say, Clinton, Iowa, I love you. I love being here. Just the tradition that has been set, the music that has been done, and just to realize, just to come and say, I am so grateful for a father who was in my life that loved me, and he pursued me, and he demanded a lot from me, but he did that with everybody else as well. And so what Dad would say in the very end, to God be the glory.
Amen.
Thank you so much.
Wait a minute, it didn't work.
Didn't work? Okay, well, we can do it again.
Okay, Larry DeHaan.
I am Larry DeHaan. This is my wife, Marcia. We're back in Clinton at the concert for Dad. We love it here. Thank you so much.